Yo guys, it's Slyroh. You already know that today I'm bringing you guys my team analysis for Week 10 of the Pokemon Premier League. And this week we are taking on Jack, otherwise known as the Donphanatic, and the Norwich Skitty. So, yes, this is going to be quite an interesting match because, as I mentioned at the end of last week's battle, Jack has probably the scariest team in the league, in my opinion. Of course, like I said, that's just my opinion. Other people may think other teams are scarier, but to me, this is the scariest team overall because there's just wall breaker after wall breaker after wall breaker after wall breaker after. Then he just has like a couple walls that just it's so annoying to try and take them down. So, I'm here to tell you about what I'm bringing against him because that's what I do. And this is going to be a fun week. I cannot show you the league table or Golden Pokeball Award just because games from last week aren't finished yet, and now I'm recording this team analysis like super early in the week. Also, apologies for this going up late. Jack is a busy man. He had a birthday this past weekend. I think it's his birthday. If so, happy birthday. If you watch this, and tell him happy birthday like 3-4 days late, whatever it is now. And yeah, so he's away for the weekend, so we have to battle like super late, meaning videos go up super late, so sorry. But that is what it is. Enough about that. Let's talk about the team, because that's what a team analysis is. No, before we get there, I was going to say I can't show you the standings, but I can say that we're still comfortably sitting in 5th place, because that is just what we do. We sit in 5th place for the year. However, if we beat Jack by a big enough margin, I believe we can go into 4th place, and he will be in 5th, which is, I believe, is how it finished last season, if I remember correctly. So, you know, maybe we'll finish 4th again, because, you know, if it's not broke, don't fix it. So, you know, who needs to win? We can just keep being 4th place for all eternity. But let's go ahead and bring up the teams as I go over what Jack has on his team. He has Mega Latios, Skarmory, Florges, Nidoking, Zoroark, Heliolisk, Gastrodon, Darmanitan, and Kangaskhan. Now, the 6 you can see that I have, that I'm guessing that he'll bring, I don't feel super confident in, but those would be Mega Latios, Florges, Zoroark, Gastrodon, Darmanitan, and Kangaskhan. I really think Nidoking is coming, but I don't really find a place to put it. The only reason I have Kangaskhan over that is because I haven't prepped very much for Kangaskhan, and the golden rule of Pokemon competitive that I just made up is if you don't prep for it, it will come. So, that's the only reason. But let's go ahead and talk about what I am bringing and what I am planning for, because there's a lot of things to break down on Jack's team. You have to stop freaking things like Nidoking, Zoroark, and Heliolisk, and Darmanitan, and Kangaskhan, to be fair. As well as not get set up on by, like, Mega Latios. Sorry, that's Mega Latios, not Latios. The O that I wrote down on the piece of paper looks kind of like an A. It's Mega Latios, Florges, you know, you don't want any of that happening. You also have to break down the walls, which are Skarmory, Florges, and Gastrodon. And Mega Latios is not the easiest to kill either, so there's just so much to deal with. But we're going to deal with it. So, let's go ahead and run through our team. First one that I'm bringing is Bushnell, the Mega Altaria. When Natural Cure before it Mega Evolves, if that even comes into play, it might. Dragon Dance, Fire Blast, Return, Earthquake, 244 HP, 188 Defense, 76 Speed, Jolly. That is to... Ooh, this is to outspeed something. I can do this, come on. It's to outspeed a max speed Heliolisk after a Dragon Dance. I think. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it is. So, I want to be able to outspeed, or no, sorry, max speed Mega Latios after a Dragon Dance. That's what it is. After Dragon Dance, I am pretty bulk invested because I don't need any attack investment. After a Dragon Dance, a mixture of Return and Earthquake, basically OHKO everything. And by everything, I mean things that aren't named Skarmory, which Fire Blast is a 2-hit KO, and Gastrodon, which still gets 2-hit KO'd by Return, I think. So, yeah, but everything else gets straight up OHKO'd. I think Kangaskhan can actually live a hit, but everything else just straight up dies. So, that's pretty awesome. And we have defense investment because I don't actually have a lot of physical defense on the team this week. So this can act as a somewhat switch-in into, like, Scarf Darmanitan, as well as this is probably my best switch into Kangaskhan. And just with the max HP, I can kind of take hits from Gastrodon. I can, you know, there's possibly some things that I could set up on. So, yeah, if I get up a Dragon Dance, it's going to be very, very scary for Jack. So, yeah, that's just move coverage that just hits everything. And, yeah, bulky Dragon Dance-ish set with some speed, and we're just hitting everything all at once. So, next mon is going to be Nando the Roserade with the Black Sludge and Natural Cure. This is a specially defensive Roserade with Aromatherapy, Hidden Power Fire, Giga Drain, and Sludge Bomb. I need to double check if Natural Cure is actually the thing that I wanted, or... No, I don't want Natural Cure, I want Technician. Because I have Aromatherapy, I don't need Natural Cure. Yeah, I just forgot to change it. So it is going to be Technician, because Hidden Power Fire, which is just straight up Oko on Skarmory. Giga Drain, because I need something to hit Gastrodon. And Sludge Bomb, because that hits Florges for a lot. And is just decent stab. I don't know why I've never, like, looked at Specially Defensive Roserade before. This thing is amazing. Specially Defensive Roserade does not get 2-hit KO'd by anything a Life Orb Heliolisk has to offer. Also can take on a Scarfed Nidoking. So, if it's Life Orb, the only thing that it can 2-hit KO me with is Ice Beam. Everything else is not a 2-hit KO, and which is freaking great. So, I have Aromatherapy because I was going to bring Lantern, and then I didn't, and I don't have Heal Bell on Mega Altaria, and there's a Gastrodon that could have Toxic, and I'm just really not trying to deal with that, or Scald Burns, so I just decided to throw Aromatherapy on Roserade, because this is a defensive mon this week, so it does make sense, hoping that Black Sludge and Giga Drain is enough recovery for me. This is one of those mons that, even though it's defensive, it still has a base 125 special attack, so I can get decent health back from Giga Drain, because there's actually not much on his team that resists it. There's Skarmory and Mega Latios. That's about it. So, and I guess Darmanitan, but, you know, whatevs. So, yeah, we should be able to get health back, and this deals with Heliolisk fantastically well, and, can switch in on Gastrodon, and, should be fun. And can also deal with Florges. I'm pretty sure if it's a defensive Florges Psychic, it cannot 2-KO me. So I can win that 1v1, unless you start setting up Calm Minds, and I just don't want to deal with that. Either way, next mon. Hipsterente, the Arcanine, Choice Banded, Intimidate, Flare Blitz, Close Combat, Crunch, and Extreme Speed. So, we're trying Banded Darmanitan, Banded Arcanine again. Hopefully not just gonna throw it away like we did the last time we brought it. When Jack faced Travesty brought a Choice Banded Emboar, and I'm starting to see why. Because a Choice Banded Fire type can do a lot to Jack's team. I don't have a lot to deal with Florges, also because I didn't bring Bronzong. So this is something that can hit really hard, but Jack just in general doesn't really have many switch-ins to this. Flare Blitz just Oko so many things. Close Combat is safer for a lot of things. Close Combat also 2-hit KOs Gastrodon, which is his most likely switch-in. I think if it's max physically defensive Gastrodon with the leftovers, it won't 2-hit KO, but if there's like any sort of prior chip damage, Close Combat will be a 2-hit KO on Gastrodon, which is incredible. Crunch is for the Mega Latios, and Extreme Speed is just for if I can clean up or get some sort of quick kill, because, you know, kill something that would usually outspeed. Yeah, so, Arcanine, anytime I get it in, it's going to be a huge threat. Jack does not want to switch into Flare Blitzes, and, this is just looking like a huge threat on his team. I can bring this in on so many things. Intimidate is helpful for a lot of things. If I'm not taking Rock Slides or anything, or Earthquakes from Darmanitan, I can bring it in on that. I can bring this in on Kangaskhan. It still is an Arcanine, so, you know, it's going to live a hit from a lot of things that I can bring it in on, and then it fires off a hit, and it's golden. So, that's Arcanine. Yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Let's go ahead and move on to the next mon. This is going to be Deltamon, the Hydreigon with a Focus Sash, Iron Tail, Flamethrower, Drake Meteor, Roost with 236 speed Jolly, max attack, and 20 HP. Now, I know this looks weird because the only physical move I have is Iron Tail. Why do I need max attack? Why is there no special attack investment? I do not I'm gonna have to look. I don't think I want it to be Jolly Nature, actually. Probably something more like Naive. That's probably looking more likely. Yeah, more likely that. I'll decide if I want to do Jolly, Naive, or whatever the one that minuses defense is. We will have to see. The nature is going to vary, but it is going to be plus 3 nature with the rest. The numbers are going to be the same. The nature may change. But I'll look into that. So, Iron Tail. It's just the easiest to go max attack. It can 2 KO a physically defensive Florges. Flamethrower with no special attack investment. Still Oko Skarmory. Draco Meteor still does over half to a lot of his things, as well as Oko's Mega Latios. So I don't really need special attack investment. Like, there's no point in investing in it if I don't need it. Roost is to stay around and to possibly keep my Focus Sash intact for later. The Focus Sash is kind of a panic button for if Mega Latios is going crazy with some sort of Dragon Dance set. So that's the main thing for that. That way I can live a hit, and then I can just hit it with the Draco, and it will, do either a lot of damage or it'll die. Something like that. I didn't really want to Scarf Hydreigon this week, just because, like if Florida switches in, I want to be able to switch my move and go for Iron Tail. Because if he's about half after some chip damage or whatever, I can just go for Iron Tail, and it'll be great. So, I just want to be able to switch my moves. I didn't want to be locked in this week. So, that is Hydreigon. Let's see, hopefully that works out. Next mon is going to be Fujin the Tornadus Therian with the Assault Vest. This is another specially defensive mon. I'm clearly scared of all the special attack power that Jack could bring. There's so many special attackers. I mean, Mega Latios is mostly specially attacking. Florges, Nidoking, which, standard specially attacking. Zoroark, Heliolisk, Gastrodon. So there's so many special attackers. Some of them could be physical, so we'll have to watch out for that. But yes, this is Assault Vest Regenerator, Dark Pulse, Heat Wave, Grass Knot, U-Turn. Again, Calm Nature with all the max and stuff. So this is basically this is fun. Nidoking cannot 2KO this. A Life Orb Heliolisk Volt Switch. I'm gonna have to double check this calc, but that is not a 2KO on Assault Vest Tornadus Therian. Assault Vest Specially Defensive Tornadus Therian. So yeah, Tornadus T just continually acts as a switch into so many threats. I get to do it. I get to switch in multiple times because it's Regenerator. I get to U-turn out, which is going to help so I can get momentum and send in things like Arcanine. And it's just going to be great. Basically, if you go through his team, this moveset hits basically everything except for Florges. It doesn't hit Nidoking super effectively, but I think Dark Pulse or Heat Wave does a decent chunk. And yeah, it hits basically everything. Dark Pulse does enough to Darmanitan. Yeah, so we do enough damage to things that it's going to be great. But yeah, so that is Tornadus T, and yeah, should be looking to put in a lot of work. Now, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with the last slab. Obviously, as you can see, I went with Player with a Ditto, max HP, and then nobody cares about the rest of the EVs. So I just clicked the suggested spread button, because that's what real pros do. But I thought about bringing Bronzong. I can't really do it. I would love Rocks, but I can't do it because literally everything on his team is a switch into Bronzong. Everything. He can Hazard Stack me with Skarmory, which means I could bring my Rapid Spinner, Hitmontop, but Hitmontop doesn't really have a good matchup against anything either. And then, what else did I leave behind? Lantern. Lantern was literally just going to take on the Heliolisk, and then, while the mixture of Scald and Ice Beam would be nice, Lantern hasn't been doing very good for me lately, so it's in timeout for this week. Whoops! That was noise. But yes, so I decided to bring Ditto because it could be nice if he sets up on me. This is another panic button with, Mega Latios, outspeeding some of his stuff. Like Nidoking is weak to its own like Earth move, Earthquake, Earth Power. Taking the form of like a Heliolisk and outspeeding him to get Volt Switch Initiative could be nice. Darmanitan could be nice to use against him. So I could have two very powerful fire types to use against Jack's team. Kangaskhan could be nice. So there's so many things that Ditto could be brought in on and used against. I could also, you know, take Skarmory, and I could try, if you want to try and Hazard Stack me, I can Hazard Stack him. That way it kind of works both ways. So there's a lot of things I can do with Ditto that I will be trying to do. So that is the team. Let me know what you guys think about it, and I will see you guys for the battle, which should be up hopefully later. Again, sorry for the delay, but you know, battle's happening late. And then after this, we only have 1 week left of the PPL. That's super crazy that it's already almost over. But I'm gonna wrap up this video. We'll talk more about that another day. So thanks for watching, and until the next time, guys, stay sly.